Hello, my witches. Good evening. How are you all doing? Welcome. Welcome, Samantha. Welcome, Natalie. Welcome, Stephanie. It's so good to have you here. I'm so glad that you chose to join me tonight. And it's been a beautiful day. So we've got Natalie from all the way on the other side of the planet. That's so exciting to me. So exciting, so thrilling. Tell me how the check 1 2 audio is going. I've kept it the same as it was last time. So it should be a-okay, except I have to install my Yeti every time I go to do a live lately. My OBS just wants to dump my microphone. Hello, Tavia. Hello, everyone. So glad you're here. I can't wait to play. Becca! Yeah, baby. Hey! I can't wait to play tonight. And if you haven't been here in a while, I stopped doing readings for the signs a few live streams ago because it just wasn't satisfying for me. And I think, you know, when it's for the signs, people come and they don't want to stick around for the whole thing. They wait for the timestamps and just read the things for their signs. But I think it's just much better for all of us if you get all of the readings and not just 2 or 3 of them. So I'm picking decks and then giving them the choice of what to talk about. And since, yes, thank you, Samantha. Since Monday is Valentine's Day and everybody's, you know, the stores are full of red and brown chocolate. And so I thought, you know, why not talk about love? And I initially pulled out the Lover's Path Tarot, but it's just not a deck that I connect with. And it really is about romantic love. And I think we're going to let the decks decide. So we may have a general theme of love. We may not. Let's find out. We'll see what the decks want to talk about tonight. So let's see what I got for you. Let's see. Shall I put me over here tonight? Kind of moving around. Why not? So tonight we are working with the Astro Dice, of course, the Sacred Rebels Oracle by Alana Fairchild, Denise Lynn's Sacred Traveler cards. Wait a minute. The Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and Selena Fennick. I have some decks in little bags in a box, and then I've got all the ones that are in their own boxes, and I always forget to go to the box that has the bag decks. So I went for this deck, and when I turned it over, the card was Unconditional Love, so this one clearly wanted to come and play. I've had this one a long time. And then we have the Pagan Ways Tarot by Anna Franklin. Very strange font. Look at Anna. If you can, Anna, when you're looking kind of in the dark, they all look the same. And then we have the Spiritual AF deck, which is always fun. So let's move them off to the side. And have a bit of a smoke cleanse. And tonight I am using cedar, not sage. And I'm getting down to the bottom of my sage. I used to buy it by the pound. Trying to find the flame. There we go. But cedar wildcrafted, sage, white sage wildcrafted is becoming scarce. And it is a sacred herb to the First Nations, and they do their smudge ceremony with it. So I don't want to use a resource that is sacred to a group that is not my group and make it difficult for them to find that resource. I also, if I do buy more, I will buy it from a native seller that is willing to sell to a White Eyes. So, by air and fire, may you be purified and charged. It doesn't want to burn too hard, but that's okay. That's all right. And then by water and earth. May you be blessed and made whole. Let's take a moment to ground, to bring your attention down to your body, slough off the stresses and tensions of the day. When you imagine putting the root down into the earth, and just imagine everything draining, draining, draining away. And then imagine that earth energy flowing up into your body. Gently, gently today. We're here to play and do readings and, not like big magical workings. So we don't need to womp up a whole bunch of energy here. So draw that energy up into your body and let it fill you up. And any excess can go back down to the earth, and whatever you need stays in your body for this time. Exhale all the way out. And with a nice deep in-breath, fill up with earth energy and send it out your crown on the exhale. And let it make a gentle, shielding, protecting, energizing egg all around you. And then reaching up to the cosmos, feel the energy of starlight, sunlight, and moonlight, as well as the energy of the blackest abyss. Feel it pouring down through your crown and filling up your body all the way through out your grounding cord and up on the outside through your egg. Just a gentle grounding and protection tonight. And when you practice this every day, you can get to the point where it's like, oh, I'm all flighty, and you can make it happen quick. All you need to do is feel your ass. Feel what you're sitting on. Feel what your feet are on. Feel the texture of your clothing. There are great resources on the internet for people that are susceptible to overwhelm and people that are very highly sensitive. And it's things, when you start going into panic mode or anxiety mode or feeling ungrounded and dissociating, things you can do. One thing you can smell, one thing you can see, one thing you can hear, one thing you can touch. Just reconnecting with your senses and the physical grounds you down into the body. Okay. Yes, I like asking the decks what they want to talk about too. So, all right, well, let's do a bell. And before we do the bell, let's give gratitude to allies and ancestors, guides and guardians for being here with us every single day in every way possible. Thank you so much. Come to our party tonight. Come to our party and help us have some fun. We're open to your messages. We're open to having our minds blown, to being delighted, and to laughing and crying and feeling the full gamut of whatever is in our bodies, whatever is in our hearts and minds that needs to be expressed. We're open to all of it. And so the first bell here is to clear the space of any negativity. And the second is to focus our intent. And then the third is just as a gift to all of our ancestors and allies, guides and guardians, that this is an offering to you of sound, of music, and the high vibration of it crosses frequencies. So this is an offering and a gift and an invitation to those that are here and on our side and here for our highest good. And then, of course, we offer to you our fresh water and our fire of Azrael. So let's grab the dice and see what they have for us. Wow, Samantha says, a grandma energy just opened up behind each and every person participating right now. The grandmothers are here. Blessed be. Blessed be. Whoever wants to take over for these dice to start the messages rolling, here we go. Oh, that one took off a running, and it was the planet one. Oh my God. Holy crap, you guys, hold on. It rolled all the way to the back. Thank God I have a back scratcher. Okay. Moon. Oh, looky. Moon in Cancer in the first house. Ooh. This is all about our emotional state being our physical state. Our physical and emotional states are not separate from each other. They are one and the same. First house is physical body. The moon is how we react. It's our cycles, our patterns, our changes, our habits. Everything that moves in cycles, everything that is repeating is represented by the moon. And of course, Cancer is how we react in the here and now. It is a water sign. It is a cardinal sign. It is oriented to the now and to the flow of emotion, the giving and receiving. So what a wonderful introduction for tonight, to invite us to be in our bodies, to connect with the moon, to connect with psychic energy, with emotional energy, with receptive energy, and allow that energy to flow and bring us incredible messages. Let me move these up this way. All right. Let's go to the Sacred Rebels. And I'm going to put a little bit more on here. Let's feed each one of the decks here. And I'm actually going to feed them with a little bit of fresh water. Are you grooving? I can only fit my pinky in that vial. Lucy. I was looking for a Lucy deck today, and I'd completely forgotten about this Wisdom of the Fairies. Wild Wisdom of the Fairies. And whoopsie. It is so humid. It's been in the 40s today, like 45 degrees. And the snow is melting. It was sunny, and now it's just so humid. Okay. All right. To Alana's deck, the Sacred Rebels. Please tell me, well, actually, here. Oh. The ones that I got today when I asked. Uh-oh, did I make them go away? Hold on. Nope, there they are. All right. The three that I got when I asked if they wanted to participate were Inspiration, Going Beyond Normal, and Listen for Truth. So we are talking about, we're on a Gemini moon tonight, talking about all these emotional things. And this is good because this can allow us to observe our feelings and think about our feelings and communicate about our feelings without being awash in them. All right. So I think that's a good setup. So Inspiration, Going Beyond Normal, and Listening for Truth. Of course they wanted to play tonight. This is not normal for most people, well beyond it. And we do get truth, don't we? You know, you can tell truth when you get the goosebumps head to toe, when you get a full body confirmation of something. Telling somebody something and it's like, ooh, my body just lit up. It recognizes the truth, even when my mind cannot. Hey, Sherry, welcome, sweetie. Okay. Let's just do a cut. Spirals of manifestation. She feels, she knows. What were we just talking about just exactly now? Feeling and knowing that we have, she wants to talk about bringing these things into alignment with each other. What we feel and what we know. They're not necessarily separate things, and they're not necessarily aligned all the time. You know, what we feel can be based on subtle energies and things that are happening behind the scenes and underground that we don't intellectually know about. Okay. So, spirals of manifestation, and she feels, she knows. So this is talking about how existence and growth and spiritual evolution and learning, you know, all the things that we're here to do, move in a spiral. Interesting, there's all kinds of stuff going on right now, and I talked to my darling sister-in-love, Denise. We have wonderful conversations about just the interesting things that are going on right now. And she sent me, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but a man that does research with sound and sound healing. And he was talking about, you know, the fact that we have viewed sound as a wave. But that's only because we're viewing it on a flat plane and in a linear fashion. And he said, rather than a wave, what it is a bubble that moves out in waves in all directions. So what did we just do there? But we went from the paradigm of the line, which is masculine, yeah, to the paradigm of the circle, the sphere, you know, not even a flat circle, a three-dimensional sphere. And that is the feminine. That represents the feminine, holistic, all-encompassing, egalitarian. So the things that we're doing, the learning that we're doing, doesn't happen in a straight line. We look at our lives in a linear fashion, but that's actually not the way they unfold. And if you are aware of this, you have access to both the past and the future while you're completely in the present. I have information coming in. I don't know what's coming out my mouth, you guys, until I hear it. So when you understand that things move in a circular pattern, and more than that, in a spiral, you understand that there are rounds of learning. So you go through that first 28 to 30 years, your first Saturn return, your karmic lessons present themselves. And you have that initial experience, and then going through that next Saturn cycle, you may find yourself going, I already went through this. How come I'm going through this again? Why didn't I, you know, I thought I learned this lesson already. Stop yourself. When you say that, stop yourself. Because you did learn the part of that lesson that you were available for, the part of that lesson that you were able to absorb at the time. You know, you learned it from where you were at the time. Then you learn and you grow and you come more into your true self. You understand yourself better, and we have another round that goes by, the same pattern comes by, and, you know, don't beat yourself up for going through the same lesson. It's like, what is it? So this is a new level of this lesson. It's kind of like you learned English grammar when you were in grammar school, and then when you went to college, you know, went into English, you learned more, but a higher level, right? That's the way it works. So spirals of manifestation is talking about how these patterns go round and round, and the ones that repeat are destiny. This is our destiny. These are the things that are fulfilling the natal promise in your astrological chart. All right, the things that you are here to work out, no doubt about it. There, of course, are many other experiences available to you, but that aren't in your natal chart, but that's out there. Your chart talks about your default setting. It's your tendencies, You know, when your guard is down, this is the way you tend to go. This is my default. And what isn't in our default settings, we learn from out there, we add to ourselves. And that's one reason we see things on another level of the spiral, because we have more understanding. So we're viewing it from a different place. So things move in spirals. And as these spirals unfold, and the feelings come up with them, you might notice that you have, you know, old feelings, old griefs coming up. And what you can do then is, sitting in this moment, you can go back to who you were when the pattern first showed itself. And you can talk to that woman. And you can say, here's what we know now. You remember what you went through? It was so hard. Let me help you with that. I know more now. Let me help you with that. And you can go back and redeem some of the events that happened to your younger self, whether it's you as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, whatever it was. Or, you know, now if I'm in cronehood and there's something from my 30s and 40s that I'm getting a new perspective on, I can go back to that person and, first of all, help her forgive herself for not knowing what she didn't know at the time, right? And then it helps to squeeze more of the juice out of the experience. We can feel the way we did, and then we bring our knowledge and understanding to what we feel so that it becomes fuller, and we can let go. Here's this releasing allegiances. This can talk about letting go of maybe some of those that we were negatively bonded with through these experiences. We can create negative, you know, trauma bonds with people. And with our younger self too. You know, sometimes we go through an experience that's terribly painful for us because we're young and vulnerable and we don't know life yet. And then you become, you know, shame-filled about how you were and how you handled things. I didn't understand, and you can kind of, because it was painful, push that part of yourself away. But what we want to do here is release the allegiance to the trauma and retain the allegiance to your younger self. I want to look this one up. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go to the end here because... Okay. This oracle comes with particular guidance. There's a situation that has recently arisen or will arise soon where you need to back yourself. Don't be put upon or hoodwinked into backing down by the emotional reactions of others. Stand your ground and stay aligned with what you know to be true. No matter how wonderful something seems logically or on the surface, if it doesn't feel right to you, it is not right for you at this time. Perhaps that will change and it will be right for you later. Perhaps you will step away and realize with relief that you had a lucky escape from a situation that would have ended up unnecessarily costing you. So this is talking about, okay, wait, backing up here. This is a time for self-love. Here's the topic coming through. For paying attention to yourself, for nurturing, holding, and being with you. It doesn't mean you can't love another. It just means you need to turn your attention inwards for a time, for some quality time with you. You will emerge renewed, refreshed, and clearer about your journey and your relationships as a result of this. This oracle is also confirmation that the work you've been doing on yourself is working for you. Your level of self-love is growing, and your ability to love consciously and healthily is increasing as a result. Some connections in your life will mature along with you, and your regard and affection will deepen and blossom. It will be revealed that other relationships are no longer relevant to your life journey. You will know which is which because you will feel it. You will feel it most clearly when you have some time to be with yourself in reconnection. So I'm also getting here that we can have friends that are trauma bonds, that, you know, we shared this with a person. When we start doing our healing work, if they are not doing their work as well, things can start to get fraught. So the thing is to release the allegiance to the trauma. And if the friendship is true, you may reconnect later, but there's no need to have to bury your light or deny your healing or not talk about the things that are exciting to you now on your healing journey because somebody else is having problems with it. So things might fall away when you really start centering in your own self-love. And the self-love we're talking about here is looking back on your journey and the patterns and the spirals of patterns, feeling that journey, knowing that it is yours, and it is within your power to redeem your former self and love those parts of yourself that you might have pushed away. And in so doing, release the allegiance with the trauma itself. Okay, let's see. Yes, the moon is in the same sign, northern or southern hemisphere. Thank you, Tavia. Tavia is a wonderful astrologer, so thank you for answering that question. Hey, everyone. Hi, Sherry. Okay, yes. Release containers that constrain us. So you know that, we have the planet Earth, and there's the belt of the zodiac. It's a flat plane. And whatever, wherever the moon is traveling, and it is the plane of the sun and the moon. The moon goes back and forth. So we've got the plane that the sun travels, and that is the belt of the zodiac. And then the moon goes north and south of that. And every time it crosses that, those are the nodes. So, but still, we look at, like, if here's the disk and the moon is, above or below, it still has the backdrop of a particular sign. Whether it's north or south is called the declination. So if you notice, like, when the moon rises, that sometimes it rises way up in the north, and sometimes it's way in the south, sometimes it's dead east. When it is on the same plane as the sun is when we get the eclipses. So that's why we don't have an eclipse at every new moon and full moon, because the moon moves back and forth over that. It's called the ecliptic, the path of the sun. Okay, so release the containers that constrain us. Yes, okay. So I hope that made sense. And the cards, maybe I will go to the book and let the cards speak for themselves more, because we certainly got the message of self-love there. All right. Water. Do you like my new water bottle? I told you I sacrificed my service one to the recovery room at UH Portage. And this one, the one that I had, was a shaker bottle for like smoothies and stuff, so it had a bigger hole. I still have yet to make friends with this one. I can't like chug a big mouthful and swallow a whole handful of pills at one time with it. It's driving me crazy. Okay. Welcome to whoever's here. Okay, this chunk fell out, so we're going to go with these. Alrighty, you want to come out, and let's just go 1, 2, 3, shall we? Okay, so we have watching clouds, discovering truth, and answering the call. Lie back, rest, and relax. You stand in the light of truth. The time is now. Okay, interesting. Because time is now, it gives kind of like, go now. Now it's time to act. And then we have lie back, rest, and relax. But these aren't necessarily at odds with each other. So what I'm seeing here is not the time is now to go, go, go. The time is now to stand up. The cards before were talking about backing yourself and standing up for yourself. Let's go to the book. Okay. A child born in the northern hemisphere and a child born in the southern hemisphere at the exact same time would have the same moon and sun sign. Yes. What would be opposite is just the orientation of them, of that belt of the zodiac. Okay. Watching clouds. Are these alphabetical? Yes, they are. So let's just look at these across the top. Watching clouds, discovering truth, answering the call. So watching clouds talks to me about looking at signs, just observing what's happening around you. If you understand that the universe mirrors itself in every way, all the time, it's one unified energy body, right? With all of these seemingly separate parts. But every part of that contains the whole, every part of it mirrors every other part. So watching clouds can just talk about observing, standing back and observing what is being mirrored for you. And paying attention to how you're describing that to yourself. And, when you take time to rest and relax, you're going to watch things, and I doubt that you're going to sit there and pick out all the negative stuff. You might sit there and look at the clouds and say, how beautiful it is and how blue the sky is today, and very clear. Or look at that really dark bank of clouds coming in. What's going on inside of me that is mirroring? Where am I feeling oppressed and my light being darkened? So it talks about just kind of sitting back and letting the universe be your oracle and letting it mirror you without judgment. Looking at how it's mirroring your state without judging, without right or wrong, without fixing. We start with observing. Lie back, rest, relax, observe, take it in. Then, discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. When you suspend your judgment, you're going to find, as you just talk about what's going on around you without trying to manipulate it, just talk about it and listen to what you're saying. All right, this is how you do it without judgment. This is how I read for myself when I want to do a tarot reading for myself, which is, so easy to manipulate the information. And what I do is read out loud. I just read it out loud like I'm reading for somebody that I don't know, and see how it goes. Okay. Okay, I'm looking. Samantha, talk about the hamster wheels, darling. Okay. So, watching clouds, lie back, relax, put everything aside, and take time to renew your energy. It's often when you totally relax that new insights and awareness can emerge. Take deep, full breaths, put your feet up, be present in each moment, do nothing, watch clouds. The answers that you seek will emerge easily, but first you need to stop all activity. Take naps. Evaluate your life. The sacred traveler wants you to know there are times when the most empowering thing the traveler can do is step off the path, stretch out, and lie on the earth to watch the clouds float by. This act is renewing and regenerating. And we are in the northern hemisphere, we're in wintertime. We are still in that internal place. And allowing yourself not to be pressured, to take time, to just relax and process is so very important. Regardless of what the rest of your day is like, there needs to be some of this all the time, every day, at some point every day. All right. Then we have discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. So this is just allowing the truth to arise. I'm thinking about the She Feels, She Knows card that was in the middle here. That's the discovering truth card. Listen to the wisdom that rises from your soul, even if those around you don't agree. Trust your instincts. Be yourself, whatever the situation. Respond from the authentic place inside. Be starkly honest with yourself. Speak your truth. Live your truth. Walk your talk. Okay, so as we were saying, you just watch what's going on around you and start telling a story about it. That cloud over there is floating off towards this tree. I wonder if it's going to get snagged in the top of the tree and shredded to little bits and float away into nothing. I wonder, look, there's a big group of birds that are, all the cardinals red against the snow. Look how they stand out. Look how bold they are. Just sort of start talking your way through what you see and understand that that is reflected. That's reflected. That's part of you as well. And see what information and what truths you can discover. And then answering the call. What brings you to this place? on Wednesday nights? What brings you here to listen to these readings? There must be a call somewhere that Spirit is telling you this is a possible thing. I have something to tell you. Tune in, be in community, listen to each other, keep your ears open, relax and play. You know, so there's something in you that is calling you. There's a gift in you that you are here to give to the universe. You've heard this 2,000,000,000,000,000,000 times, right? It is true. And the gifts that we're given are not necessarily to make money with. They are here, something that we are here to offer. So as you're discovering the truth and watching the clouds and telling you the stories and seeing how the universe is reflecting you, think about what gifts you have been given that you are here to offer to others. What have you been given? What have I not been offering? And maybe think about how you can offer that gift just to make the world a better place, you know, and trusting in Spirit that there will be an exchange. That Spirit will take care of me. I'm going to offer the gifts that I have. And you can do it just for fun, you know. Maybe you make plenty of money at something else and do this just for fun. But the thing is to acknowledge the call, to understand that you are being called uniquely, not another you in the entire history of everything, and that you are deciding that it is your job to answer that call. Okay, this is taking on the responsibility and saying, okay, I am answering the call to use my gifts. Spirit needs me for something. And see what truth of that you can discover as you're lying back and looking at the clouds. What am I being called to do? What does the world need from me that is uniquely mine to give? So I want to look at that one a little bit more here. Spirit is trying to get your attention. Right now, your spirit helpers are telling you that this is your time. Listen with your heart. Your time is now. Do it now. Throw your shoulders back, take a deep breath, and plunge forward. The waiting is over. No matter what concerns or hesitations you may have, in the deepest sense, you are ready. Believe, trust, follow the signs. There will be many, and miracles will abound. So, follow the signs. Right? And this doesn't mean, you know, stand up, I gotta rush, and oh God, I don't have a business ready to start, I can't do, just what you need to start now is just the true, clear understanding that I have a gift and I'm being called to use it. That's all you need to do in this moment, is understand that and be ready. Be ready to use the gift and be ready to answer the call. That's all. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Now, this is the one that I took out of the bag and said, what do you want to tell me? And I flipped it over and it was Beauty and the Beast, Unconditional Love. So a rainbow cloud. We saw, Tam and I saw a sundog. Where were we going? I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was when we were going to Alliance last week. God, it's so, I am such a hermit, it's ridiculous. You know, I'm leaving the house like once a week. It's kind of bad. We were out today, but we were out like in the last week, and we were driving along, and he's like, hey, look, yes, it was. We were coming back from Alliance, I remember now. And this beautiful sundog, just, you know, the sun was way over here. Sundogs come on either side of the sun, and it's just this rainbow blaze in the sky. It was fabulous. Yes, Samantha, absolutely. Sometimes answering the call isn't about dashing out the door. It's just about opening the door in the first place and allowing something in. Yes, I am here to answer. Operators are standing by. Let's see if I can even shuffle these. Ooh, they're a bit stiff, but you know. Wakey, wakey. Wakey, wakey. I haven't talked to you in a long, long time. I know. Wakey, wakey. Wakey, wakey, fairies. Wakey, wakey. What do you have to tell us about love? About unconditional love. Fairies, what should we know about unconditional love? Okay. So we have yes, suddenly I'm seeing Lily Tomlin in her little wig and snorting and talking about Mr. Beetle. Okay, whoever understood that is of an age. Welcome, sister. Okay, so we have Child of the Moon, Silver Sisters, and Green Man's Door. Oh, looky, there's a door. We were just talking about opening doors. So unconditional love starts with forgiveness. Child of the Moon, forgiveness transcending the ego. We talk about this every week, it seems, but I think, you know, when there's repeats and repeats and repeats, it's because Spirit just knows we're struggling with these things. And forgiveness is certainly something that we struggle with. We struggle with forgiving ourselves. And because we can't forgive ourselves, we can't forgive anybody else either. We can't move on. All right. So unconditional love starts with yourself, with being unconditional with yourself. Hello, Calla Lily. Welcome, dear. All right. Ernestine, yes. Is this the party to whom I am speaking? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. So back to unconditional love. It starts with forgiving ourselves, being unconditional with ourselves. Not, I'll love you. Dear me, I will love you when you got this weight off you. You know, I'd love you more if I could get a little bit of work done here. Maybe I'd love you more if I get my gray hair colored. I'll love you more if you just stop saying stupid things like that. You know, I'll love you more once all the healing is done. So what we need to do is drop the conditional love of ourselves when we become unconditional with ourselves. And, you know, it's the ego that wants those conditions. It's the ego that wants physical perfection and has unrealistic expectations of us. The ego thinks it is this separate thing that walks around in a body, you know, and will be separate from everybody forever. The spirit knows that we are not our body and we are not the personality that we're wearing in this lifetime. The personality is what comes with this body, right? And it comes and goes. The eternal essence is the part of us that understands unconditional love. So we release ourselves from conditions. We truly, truly, truly do work to forgive ourselves and to embrace ourselves. And that means opening up to those icky parts and those parts that we have pushed away. Silver Sister says, time to take protection from toxic thoughts and energy. Okay. To take protection. Let's look at these. So we have Child of the Moon, and then we have Silver Sisters. Lots of moonlight energy, lots of psychic energy involved here. And it says, oh yes, they are looking at you, and they are not kind, these beautiful ones, but do not fear. 'Tis an indication that it truly is time for you to clear, ground, balance, protect. These beautiful fairy sisters seem so beautiful and glamorous, yet sadly they are here to warn you of energetic attacks through the form of harmful words and thoughts directed towards you. This does not create victimhood, but it is a call to understand that the malice of others does have an impact if we do not take the necessary steps to clear, ground, balance, and protect ourselves each day from them and others like them. So, this is talking about what comes at you externally. And if you are standing in this place of having forgiven yourself and fully embraced yourself and unconditionally loving yourself, then it's going to be harder for people's negative messages to get in. But they're going to be there. There's nothing that a toxic person hates more than somebody that's doing their healing work. They resent it because it makes them look bad. If you're changing and you are not willing to continue to be codependent with you, you can certainly attract a lot of crap from these people. All right. Let's go to the divinatory meanings. It's time to approach your energy work in a disciplined way each day until it becomes second nature. So doing the grounding, doing the clearing with the bell, just doing a little smoke cleanse and a saltwater bless, and then sit, ground, do your egg. That's all you need to do, right? When learning the lesson of this card, it can be a short step away to feel victimized, harassed, or picked on. Take all unnecessary measures within the law and the bounds of what you understand to be right to protect yourself, along with moving through an attack without being touched, because you have protection and good psychic health supported through practice and discipline. You're sensitive, and because of that, you must trust your instincts and your ability to discern what is truly taking place. Remember, she feels, she knows. Lies and hurtful things are possibly being said. Do not retaliate. Take action on your own self. You will not be hurt when you realize that the weapons of attack have nothing to do with you personally. Even if you're being attacked personally, you are not other people's ideas about you. Do not become their lie by responding as if you are. Clear, ground, balance, and protect yourself. So this is talking about how we respond to those around us that are toxic and trying to offload it onto us. You know, people that offload their emotions onto us. Because they can't handle them themselves. Okay. And then we have Green Man's Door, Portals to Fairy, Wheel of the Year, Galactic and Gaian entry points. Ooh. So did you guys hear about the satellites that died? They put up, it was at Elon Musk? I think it's Musk. Musk or Bezos that put up the array of satellites. And you know, these guys think they're all powerful. And the sun had other ideas and popped off with the CME that hit these satellites, and they fucking died. They got knocked out of their orbit and went. So, another message to remove the toxic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's look at the divinatory messages from the Green Man's Door. You're about to pass through a potential doorway of time, thus you will soon have access to other dimensions and realities, including that of the fairy. It's time to consider becoming a walker between the worlds, to draw back the veil and part the mists. To do so will bring healing, change, and powerful magics into your current reality. Ask the Green Man and the Fairy Maiden for permission to enter and make an offering. Then prepare for deep, beautiful, abiding change. Please see the front section of the guidebook for the earthly dates of the doorways. Make an offering, place your hand on the door, and push ever so gently. Then she will open. Okay, let's look at these portals in the front. Fairy beliefs, fairy symbols, the realms of fairy. She doesn't tell us where we might find these portals, but I'm going to flip through a little bit here while you guys are absorbing that information. Who can connect? Why connect? Fairy energy, fairy beliefs, how to work with them, when to work with them. Okay, new moon, full moon, outside or within a dwelling with plants and natural forms. Twilight, dawn, you notice these are all times of change, times when the veil thins. Sunrise, sunset. Letha, Lunasum, Mabon, Samhain, Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, and Beltane. So just the Wheel of the Year. And we all know these things. We are past Imbolc now. But, you know, at any time, the door can be open to you. At any time. But what we need to do to prepare ourselves to go through that door is work with self-forgiveness and with protecting ourselves from the negativity that's out there. We are currently on the down slope from this pandemic. Fauci came out today and said we're actually getting to the end of this first phase. Numa, numa, yay. Numa, numa, yay. We've done it. The cases continue to go down. There's been an average of only 30-some cases in my entire county per day over the past week. There's still 30-some cases per day over the past week. We're not through yet. but they are certainly going down, down, down. So let's make sure as we move out into the world that we keep ourselves protected on all levels, that we keep ourselves protected on a physical level, considering the virus is still out there and you can catch it twice, and protecting ourselves on a mental level. That's from the messages that come from toxic people, and on a spiritual level, just to be able to hold our light in this earthly system that is going through such intense fluctuations right now. You know, there's a lot of polarization, and you know, with all of these Capricorn placements and Pluto in Capricorn, it's just polarizing. And so yeah, keeping yourself protected on all levels. And then once you have that down, and so the call for this one was really about practice every day, practicing every day. Whatever is your practice, however long, however short, pick something that is doable for you. It's great to write this whole elaborate thing and go, I'm going to do this every day, but what if you can't? You know, scale it. You can scale it. It's like, well, you know, I can do a 2-minute mala of green tara. I can do a 10-minute mala of white tara. I can do my whole 35-minute full-blown tara thing, just depending on what time you have, what you're able to do. Let yourself off the hook, but do something every day. Do it every day. That's the message here. Okay. All right, now we have a tarot deck. So I think I'm going to go a little bit deeper here. Okay. Elon Musk, yep. Whee, they go flying. We have the Ace of Swords, intent. Ooh, okay. Here we go. I think I'm going to do a 3x3. Let's just go a little deeper with these. Come on. Let me move these out of the way and move this back a little bit so we have room. What is the Ace of Swords telling us? What is the truth that we need to look at? In this deck, it says intent, but that upheld sword is the sword of truth. It is discernment. It is our mental faculties that separate what is wanted from what from what isn't wanted. What? From what isn't wanted. What I decide and what I don't decide, what I choose, what I don't choose. That's the double-edged sword. So it is the sword of truth, and in this deck, the sword of intent. All right, let's split. Cut. There's one there, and there's one there. All right. Oh, and the magician managed to turn himself upside down. Isn't that something? I don't have this deck set up for reverses. Okay. And then we have Five of Pentacles, restriction. Ew, where are we feeling just hemmed in and restricted? Where was it somebody said earlier about throwing off restraints? Samantha, that was you. Release containers that constrain us. Okay. So the magician upside down says we're not using our power. We are not using the elements that are available to us. We're not, okay, hold on. We're not behaving like empowered people. All right. And it's very easy not to behave like you're empowered when you're constantly confronted with how you are not empowered, with where you don't have a choice. You know, when you're constantly confronted with the news of what the big old boys like Elon Musk are doing, you know, throwing their money around, and we can feel terribly disempowered. So what we need to do is cut that away. The Ace of Swords is a new beginning because of what you cut away, because of the intent to move ahead. And what we're cutting away on the other side here is restriction. This feeling of restriction, this feeling of I can't, that I don't have the power, that it's not up to little me. All right, let's keep going, and they're flying out now. King of Swords. Okay, he wanted to come upside down. Yowza. So he just represents air, using the mind. And we have the Emperor, the Lord. And we have the Nine of Swords. Let me get all 9 of them out here. Justice. Look at the majors coming out. The Two of Swords. Ooh, that one wanted to come out too. And upside down. So apparently I do have a chunk. I got the star over here that kind of came out sideways, so it could go here in the ace. Okay. I'm going to do this because this flipped out when I was going for the 3rd card, and then I chose the Ace of Wands. So this is going to be our last for this 10-card spread. So we've got the King of Swords, and I generally call the King of Swords the bastard or the motherfucker. He is that judgmental, harsh, calcified, frozen idea that isn't going to shift. All right. But he's coming upside down here. So it's saying it is time to be discerning and shift our mindset, shift the way we're thinking about things. If we're looking at ourselves as disempowered, I don't have the power to change anything, we need to turn that on its head. Quit being so judgmental about ourselves. We're judging the world outside of us. And remember in the beginning we were talking about how the world reflects itself in all ways and reflects ourselves back to us. Well, what we're seeing here is that we've gotten stuck in a mindset of disempowerment. And it's time to turn this around. In the center here, we have the Emperor, the Lord, the masculine energy. That strength of will. I will. The buck stops here. My word is law. I am the authority in my life. And then 9 of Swords over here, we have worry. So 5 of Pentacles was what? Restriction and worry. So what is restricting us is the worries that we have. And not that our worries are not legitimate. So many of us are having rough times and wondering how we're going to make it long term, right? You know, we can't look too far ahead because that's all the farther our resources are going before we have more resources coming in. So we've got a lot of worry that is restricting our mindset to the disempowered and the negative. But the Lord in the middle is saying it's time to take our power back. And on the bottom we have Justice. We have 2 of Swords, which is stalemate. And then we've got the Star reversed. Holy shit here. Okay, so Justice says we bring things back into balance. And he's got the scales here. She's got the scales here. And there's a feather. So you know that Mot, the Egyptian goddess Mot, weighs your heart against a feather when you pass into the other world. And if your heart is heavier than that feather, you don't go in. Your heart has to be so unburdened. So Justice here is talking about us, and it's not justice for us to carry all this burden and all of these worries. That's not just. We're not here to carry all this heaviness all on our own. And now let's look at stalemate here. Okay, let me read messages. Yes, they are. Masculine energy turned up. I love that, Samantha. Masculine energy being turned upside down with the Magician and the King of Swords, primarily only to be turned upright again. So it is really about redemption. Let me look at these lines again here. The Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth holding up our authority, taking that sword in hand and saying it's up to me to decide. I decide what stays and what goes. I decide what's on either side of this double-edged sword. And then we've got another double sword that is stalemate. It talks about just being in a deadlock. All right, hold on. Deadlock is not balance. Look at the balance of the scales here, but this is deadlock, not balance, give and take. They're not balancing each other. They are opposing each other. So we still have a lot of work to do as far as coming to this place of balance and justice. And it's not about fighting with people. We're not going to change minds. Everybody, everybody is responsible for their own fucking mindset. And I've got goosebumps head to toe. We are responsible for our own mindset. We are responsible for our own decisions. I give you permission to disengage from the argument with anybody. They are also responsible for their own mindset, and to stay away from this stalemate. We just let them be responsible for their own mindset. You notice the sword and the Lord are above the Two of Swords. So what comes, what can conquer this is just coming into our authority and standing in our own truth, taking responsibility for our own mindset, for the thoughts that we think, for the programs we still haven't deprogrammed. But then we've got the star upside down here. Okay, the star talks about hope and inspiration, but it is upside down, and no wonder. We've got restriction and worry, holding down hope. So what do we need to do here? We need to let spirit in. We need to turn that back up and stop letting our hope be squashed by feelings of restriction and disempowerment and worry. We are like squeezing the life out of our own hopefulness, the star that lives inside, the hope, the inspiration, the connection to spirit, our spirit guides. We're not letting our guides work for us. We're getting into the nitty-gritty and into the mundane, into these tangles one-on-one, and that too is pummeling the hope out of us. I want one more here. Okay, let's see. The sword, the Lord, and the stalemate, yes. Stars shine upside down, so don't need to send out. Okay. Now, I'm not looking at this as a wish. I'm looking at this as that part of ourselves that continues to hope, that continues its connection with spirit. No matter how bad things get, I know I'm still connected with spirit. I pulled one to see about this upside down star, and I got the Princess of Pentacles, which is Samhain. So it's magic. And it says that we need to apply, we need to bring the witch out and do our magical work on our state of hopefulness and our state of connection with spirit. Here is where we need to work. Everything here has weighed down this star to where it's turned upside down. We're losing hope. We're losing our shine. So it is time to do some magic to reclaim that shine. And if we're going with our theme of love and self-love, what better thing could you do for yourself than a ritual to just reclaim your sparkle, reclaim your cosmic shine? Remember that you're a star child, and spend some time playing in that energy. Then our last card here was Ace of Wands. So it's will. Will. There's will all over the place here. So this isn't something where we just kind of let it flow. This is going to take an act of will. We've got these two representing the masculine and representing mental will. What we do with the mind and what we do with the basics that we have, the magic that we have. Those are upside down. And it's going to take an act of will to turn these things around. It's going to take us to stand up and be active, talking back to these things, talking back to the sense of restriction, talking back to the sense of worry, talking back to the stalemates that we're in, finding a way, if I'm directly in the path of somebody and we're at a stalemate, can I just step to the side maybe and keep going? You don't have to engage every argument. You don't have to win or lose every argument. You can step aside of them, but the star is calling us. This is spirit calling us to reconnect. To reconnect. We've let the worldly take over here. Take over our hearts and our minds. And there's the Ace of Wands saying, it's time to get moving. This is the new beginning of our passion, of letting our fire burn brightly and letting our light shine. Focus, intent, align with the frequency we prefer to resonate with. Well, our own frequency, our own frequency. You know, you don't even have to involve preferences here. You have your own frequency that is pure and your own star energy, your own spirit energy. You know, it resonates. You don't have to pick and choose. Just be it. Just be it. Call it forth and be it. Remember answering the call. There is a part of you that is being called forth, and it's been buried by the circumstances of our times. It's been buried and it's been dimmed and it's been dulled, and we have been sort of lured into this belief that we're not the powerful witches that we are. And I hear them laughing. I hear the grandmothers laughing their asses off. So it's, on the one hand, it's easy. Just do it. Just remember. Here's the call. Remember. Pick up the damn phone. Open the door. And then we are, rather than thinking and being in the will, we are, you know, the mental will. Here we are in the fiery will that recognizes, you know, when you start to shine your light, it will shine back to you from the outer world, and you will be drawn to it by the fire of passion and inspiration. That's what the star card is too. It's inspiration. Inspiration, letting spirit in. Letting spirit in and letting the flame ignite again. We were talking about this last week. It was all about reigniting that flame and that sparkle. I mean, yeah. Okay. I think this is done. I do. Okay. Yes, we do need some fun. I agree with you, Sherry. We absolutely need some fun. Okay, let me look. Let's start visualizing ourselves floating around on the rainbow clouds. Absolutely. And doing a ritual that recalls to you those times in your life when you felt the most powerful, when you felt the witchiest, when you were manifesting left, right, and center. You know, I'm remembering that time we had a mother drum, and we did it to benefit some friends of ours that were having a tough time, and we did this huge Lakshmi ritual, and we threw money all over the place. It was great. We did this dance in the middle, and I had all this cash, and we were just we were making it rain. Just look, it's raining money. And I had made my husband take out, work. It came out upside down. This isn't work. This is sacred play. Okay? Sacred play. But I had made my husband get rid of our old dryer that was broken. It's like we need to make room for a new one. Didn't know where it was coming from. Didn't know how we could afford it. The next day, my neighbor knocked on the door and said, "We're getting ready to move and we don't want to take our washer and dryer. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "How much?" She's like, "It's free." So, yeah, manifesting. All right. Goes into Michael Jackson mode. Yep. Open your inner door and be it. That's right. And remember that it's not hard work. This is sacred play. You're a fucking witch. Do you remember? Do you remember when we did this before? When we were all together? In this lifetime and before. And all we had to do was be in each other's company and look at each other's faces. And we felt that vibe go around the circle. And when we started calling in the elements and the gods, and we felt that rush of power come through your body, and then we raised that cone of energy and shot it off into the night. And we asked the goddess for what we needed, and she gave it to us joyfully. Remember? I do. I'm starting to remember. All right. Let's finish up with the spiritual AF deck. Alrighty, let's have some fun and some levity here. What do you want us to know? What do you want us to know about loving ourselves? So we can be spiritual as fuck. Okay. I know, Becca. Me too. And yes, when we were together before this lifetime, we made promises to each other. Do you remember? Okay. Shit you don't have time for. Other people's shit. Crazy shit. Bullshit. Stupid shit. Fake shit. And shit that has nothing to do with you. I think we addressed all of those in that last reading. Once you drop that kind of bullshitty shit, you'll have a whole lot more hours in the day to do awesome shit. Find shit to do that vibes with your soul. Shit that has no negative consequences. Shit that makes you say, oh, hells yes. Maybe even do some shit that benefits the world in some way. Answering the call. You have time for the fuck yeah shit. There's one. Okay. Yep, the grandmothers are waiting for us to remember. Thou shalt not judge because thou hast fucked up before too. And thou shalt not judge yourself because you've fucked up before. When you see yourself thinking someone's a real asshole, take a moment and contemplate all the times you've done exactly what they're doing. Maybe it was a different flavor of assholeness, but it was still assholey. Check yourself. People will like you more. Most importantly, you'll like you more too. Aww. So we were talking about self-love and unconditional love. You'll like you too more when you're not being a judgy shit. I feel so called out. All right, and then we have ancient proverb. If you meet more than 2 assholes a day, you're it. Ooh, so called out. Anais Nin said, we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. That's the universe reflecting. That's the universe reflecting. So 1 or 2 assholes could be random. 3 assholes is a clear sign you've got on your sphincter glasses. Take a moment to check in with your perception of things. It might just be that you, Cupcake, are the asshole. Luckily for you and everyone else, you've got the power to change that. So, when we want to get to the business of unconditional self-love and self-forgiveness, we have to know what we're forgiving. We have to be very honest about what there is to forgive. And when we're honest about it, then we can actually do something to change it. If we're like, yeah, I know I've done shit and I don't want to think about it, but I forgive myself, you know. If you don't know how you've been an asshole, it's hard to fix. It's, I would say, impossible to fix. So start from knowing that everybody has asshole capacity. We all have the ability to be complete assholes, and probably have been at some time in our past. I'm looking at my 20s, and I'm probably you're all looking at your 20s too. That's why I call the 20s the fucking up years, astrologically. Because we do stupid shit, and particularly if you were traumatized and came out of a toxic system, you probably did some really assholey shit. I know I did. There are people that are, you know, back in my friends list from those days way back then, and I have felt the need to say, hey, I've been to therapy. Hey, I was an asshole back then. I have actually called people and said and apologized for shit that I did when I was a fucking asshole, you know? And I still can be. We all have that capacity. We all do, you know? Embrace it. To at least deal with it. At least accept that you have that capacity, because until you do, you're going to be dead blind to the things that you can do to be an asshole. So I think this deck has sufficiently called us out, but I want one more. I like it. The moment you start acting like life is a blessing, it starts feeling like one. Get grateful. Get grateful. Get grateful. If you're looking for answers, the easiest fix to any problem is to start with gratitude. Look around and name something that's awesome. Do you have a truly amazing cat? Fuck yeah. Where is he? Hi, Wacket. You're not up here. He's usually up here. Hi, Wacket. I have an amazing cat. Fuck yeah. What's awesome about that cat? He's just fucking awesome. That's all. Aren't you glad it's alive? Yes. Do you hate cats and don't have one? Isn't it amazing that you don't have to live with those furry little creeps? Okay, now keep going. So I invite you right this very minute to think of one major, major thing in your life that is just an absolute blessing, that you're like, how I couldn't have gotten through these last several years without it, and I'm really grateful for it. So off you go. What are you grateful for? All right, let's see. Let's see the gratitude. What are you grateful for here? Pop a message in there. It can be anything. I am grateful for good, delicious water to drink. I am grateful for all these decks. I am grateful that my soon-to-be 12-year-old computer is still kicking. Might be on its last kicks, but it's still kicking. I am grateful that you guys show up when I sit here and hit go live and we can play. I'm so glad that we can play. So Calla Lily is grateful for her garden. Grateful for family and friends, of course, yes. I am grateful for incense and delicious, wonderful smells that change my mood immediately. You know, if you use a particular incense for ritual, you can change your mood in an instant by just burning a little bit of that incense. It can take you back to a time and a place. Tavia is grateful to have such a warm, dry, comfortable home. Amen to that. I'm grateful for hot water. Tavia says, I had a day when I said it was hard to find something to be grateful for. We all have those days. My mom said, you have feet and you have shoes on those feet. Start there and work up. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was being grateful to my sister-in-law the other day for the wonderful winter boots she gave me last year. I didn't have any decent winter boots, and they're the only shoes I have to wear because I haven't bought myself any kind of shoes in forever, in just forever. Grateful for all your people, Becca, my body and home. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am grateful for the awareness in this lifetime that there have been many other lifetimes, and that there have been lifetimes when we were together as witches, as priestesses, as wise women, and that we remember now. I am grateful that my eyes are opened in this lifetime and that I have the opportunity to acknowledge the karma that I'm here to work out. You know, I'm grateful for the brain and the intelligence that I have that allows me to worry and stress out and think negatively all day long. I'm grateful for that brain, and I'm grateful that I have a choice about how to use it. So awesome. Let's woo. Send up a hoot and a holler. Yeehaw. All right, you guys. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? These have been fun at the end here. I love this spiritual AF deck. You know, we can get into so deeply into spiritual stuff and kind of forget the fun parts of it. And I'll tell you what one of the things I am most grateful for is humor. I am so grateful for my sense of humor. I am grateful that my husband and I share this wonderful gift, and that my children have the gift as well. When you lose your humor, you've really lost perspective there. Grateful for my glitter gel pens. Oh, yeah. That sounds amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Samantha, dear. Yep, I am grateful too. And I would be grateful if you guys would hit that like button on your way out. I'm grateful that you have engaged in the chat. And if you're watching this as a video and not on the live stream, I'll be very grateful for you leaving a comment down below. That helps more people see what I do. There are several links down below if you feel moved to donate to support me in the channel. And I send you blessings for that. Nothing is too small. You can join my Patreon for just $3 a month. It's just minimal support, but it's an atta girl for me, and it makes me feel very good. So I appreciate all of you that are donating. Yeah, without humor, we're toast. We're just fucking toast. That's all there is to it. So, yep, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, hit the bell so you know when I'm putting things up. I have a video to shoot tomorrow. I have so many videos to shoot. I'm still trying to pick up the pace here. Here, wait a minute. Let me go big. There. Look at this. It's amazing. It's a gift deck, and it's fucking amazing. I can't wait to show you guys. So, more unboxings coming. Oh, I know what I am planning. I'm going to start now. Our next Sabbath is the equinox, but then there's Beltane. And I want to work my way towards a blessing of the waters in May. Water, if you're familiar with Dr. Emoto, Masaru, I think his name was Emoto. He was a Japanese scientist that did the research on water droplets, and how water reacts to feelings that are sent to it, and particular words and energies that are directed to it. And they would direct energies to water, flash freeze it, and look at the water crystals. And there's an unboxing of the water crystal oracle on this channel. Perhaps I will find that for you and put it in the chat. Let's see. Hold on, this will take me just a second. At any rate, one of the last full mother drums I did was a blessing of the waters. All right, the water crystal oracle, here it is. Hold on. Unboxing. There we go. All right. I'm going to drop it down below in the comments as well, and I can't do that until the live stream's done. Okay. So, water has memory. And when you have a vessel of water and you direct energies of love and unconditionality and acceptance and healing, and you charge that water with it, and then you go and put it in another body of water. If you put it in a river, everything that water flows by is going to pick up that vibe. So we want to do a blessing of the waters. And I've been holding these. I was talking about these a hell of a long time ago. These are quartz, smoky quartz crystals that were part of a candle that you gave me, Samantha. And I kept all of these, and I want to charge these and take them to bodies of water. So you can charge, you know, a stone like that and put them in different bodies of water. The ritual that we did with the blessing of the waters was we had water from a river, a lake, from both the Atlantic and Pacific and the Gulf. I had 3 sources of ocean water. I had rainwater, I had tap water, and I had bog water. So we had all these different sources of water, and for each of the sources we did a particular chant. We sat in a circle and did a chant as we passed around the vessels of these waters. And then the waters got all poured together, and everybody brought a little jar or a vessel or something, and they took some of that water home with them. And I asked everyone to bring water from a source near them. I went out and collected all the different waters, but and I'm trying to remember, did we do that? Did everybody bring their own? I think maybe I just got the sources of water and everybody took some home, and then they took them to a body of water near them. And I mean, you can pour it down the drain. If it goes into the sewer system and over to the water, you know, the processing plant, and that water evaporates and goes into the clouds and rains down, you know, think about where it goes in the ocean, in a river, you know, in a bog where it's not flowing, it's going to go into the earth. So many ways that you can do this, and I want to work towards a ritual that we do together for the blessing of the waters. We'll see what my computer lets me get away with, because I would love to record some chants and things, but we'll see. So be thinking about that. I'm going to think about how I would like to structure it, and look at how we might end up doing, you know, several different rituals moving forward to it. But think about what you would like to do, whether you would just like to have, you know, water from your tap that you take to places, or waters that you gather from these different sources and then return them to those sources. Or you might want to have stones. I also got a little bag of tumbled chips that there's a whole bunch of them in all kinds of different colors and things, and I think I might use those as well. But yeah, there's tremendous things that we can do with water. My sister-in-law, Sharon Carlisle, is an installation artist in Colorado, and she did an installation called Speaking to Water, where she had people take butcher paper and soak it in different bodies of water, and then write where they soaked it and send the paper to her. So she's making a book of all these papers that have been soaked in all the waters of the world. There's also a video, let me give you this as well. There's a water blessing song. Let me see if I can find this one. There they are. Okay. This is a video that will teach you how to sing a First Nations water blessing song. They have given away this song so that people can do the work. Okay, there's another link for you. So, a mix of Atlantic and Pacific. Yep. All right. Well, I'm thinking, you know, we all do this on our own. So since we're going to be doing this virtual ritual here, you can gather water from any source that you want. Like I said, you could just get some spring water or something and then distribute that to various sources. Or you could go out to each of these sources, gather some of that water, do a working with that, and then return it. Anything that you want to do. You might not gather water. If you're working with stones, you don't have to gather water. You can just bless the stones and charge them, and then take the stones with you wherever you go. Wherever you see a source of water, even if it's a puddle, drop one in. Wherever that water goes, it's going to carry that memory. So I think that we're due for this. I've wanted to do it for the last couple years, but we've just been under it. You know, think of that tarot reading. We've really just been under it. But I do feel that we are starting to come out. I feel like there might be another surge of COVID coming in the spring. I've got my eyes on March. I'm wary. So keep your protection up. You know, keep your behavior good and your protection up. But it's getting to where we really can start seeing each other again, and that's pretty exciting to me. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for everybody being here. I'll be popping up with some unboxings here and there, and I will see you next Wednesday. And by all means, if anybody, you know, go to my Zen Witch Tarot and Astrology on Facebook, and if you have, you can DM me if you have ideas of like something you'd like to focus on, for these live stream readings, even just one deck, one question kind of thing, let me know. Let me know what you want. Engage. Let's engage. That's fun. Okay. All right, you guys, take care. I will see you very, very, very soon. And until then, this is Luna, and I love you. Mwah. Blessed be.